1 minute. When you supposed to go live yet, man? Yeah. 1 minute. Hold on, we coming. All right, we back. What's going on, fellas, ladies? We open up the chat real quick. Let me know you in the building. We nighttime grinding, man. Talk about Premier Boxing Champions, man. And what's going on? You know, see a lot of people of late still, angry with PBC, and just want to know why. Why people angry with PBC. What's going on, Angel Santos, my brother? What's going on, Mr. Riley? What it do? Trying to know why people are still upset with the Premier Boxing Champions when HBO is consistently this year giving you garbage, and just trying to get to the bottom of this hatred for PBC. You see Oscar De La Hoya, throwing shots in. PBC is, the zone is the next PBC. When actuality, it isn't. That was a horrible comparison. But we know Oscar has sour grapes. Oscar feels some type of way because Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer robbed him of his fighters. Now, if Oscar De La Hoya wasn't doing what he was doing at the time, and he had his addiction, and I don't know if they tried to get Oscar help or what it was, but I know they actually tried to, there was rumors that Al Heyman's business partners or whoever was trying to buy Golden Boy for $100 million. Oscar said no. Around that time, he was getting his shit back together. But by that time, I think it was Canelo and Floyd was happening, and he wound up going in a rehab, whatever it was, and they started running out a lot of his contracts. What's going on, Brooklyn child? And they was running out them contracts, whatever, and then obviously they worked the thing out where they gave some what's going on, KB? They gave Al gave some of Oscar's fighters back, like Matisse, Leo Santa Cruz, but Leo Santa Cruz ended up buying himself out, going back to Al Heyman because Oscar tried to make the Rigondeaux fight, and then you heard Abner Mares, Eric Hunter, Nate Campbell have nothing but negative things to say about Golden Boy. Abner Mares even said that he was living in his car or something like that at the time, and the treatment was so bad over there. Golden Boy Al Heyman made it happen. So, before we kick off, what if Golden Boy and Al Heyman would have retained that relationship? They would have been powerful right now, man. Honestly, Al Heyman managing, advising, Golden Boy being the promoter, but Floyd really started the blueprint for what we see now, where these guys are just advised and managed by Al, and they work with a promoter on a fight-by-fight basis when it's convenient for them or when it's convenient for the fight. Because that's what Floyd Mayweather pretty much did with that's what he did with a Golden Boy. He paid Golden Boy a flat fee to promote all his fights, and he just used them as a promotional fight-by-fight type of thing. So he never had a contract with Golden Boy. What up, legendary boxer? Some fans are insecure that black dude who went to Harvard is running boxing and the best talent in boxing. Yeah, it's clearly a thing against Al Heyman. Like I said before, anytime a black guy's in a position of power, it's an issue. And anytime they get a position of power, they usually delete them. They usually get rid of them. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. I mean, any person that was able to gather the masses and follow their plan, they fear that amongst the black people, because the black people, they don't want them to know their true heritage and their true history. And a lot of people don't know that, but that'll be something for another channel. Period. It wouldn't even be nothing for another video. That's clearly for another channel, but that's Earth's deepest secret, other than the creation of the Earth. But I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah, PBC. I mean, everybody tune in every Saturday to watch the Premier Boxing Champions. And I don't get the issue with it. The issues at first is people trying to drag those beginning issues where they was just giving you fights, and the undercard fights was better than the main events. It was a lot of mismatches. It was just like they was running the contracts out from Golden Boy and the Premier Boxing Champions, and it was just shitty after shitty fight. Now they kind of Al Heyman told them last year they got to fight better competition. Now Stephen Espinoza is stepping in, forcing fights. It's not an issue. The only issue with Premier Boxing Champions is that it's primarily being run on Showtime, which is a premier network, but Premier Boxing Champions was supposed to change the game and bring boxing back to network television, which it did, and it sparked Top Rank going over to ESPN because Top Rank was rumored to have a Box Nation type of Top Rank app, which it did come to fruition. It's just part of ESPN Plus, so that's how they gonna get more dates. The ESPN Plus app. Top Rank is supposed to get their own app or their own network. They end up getting with ESPN, and then they came out with the app. So I think the ESPN Plus app might have been somebody in the boxing world side on Top Rank side. So, but but Al had it on. He took NBC away from main events. That's another reason main events was mad at Al Heyman. He kicked Kathy Duval off of NBC Sports and took NBC from her. Cause she would do fights on NBC. I remember Curtis Stevenson fought Derek Finley on there. It was Steve Cunningham fought Tyson Fury on NBC. Then she had the fights on NBC Sports where Kovalev really built his base of his career at, and Al Heyman took that away from her instantly. And then not only that, he took Fox. They still had CBS. They had ESPN. They was spreading out a lot. Spike, and obviously. Now they kind of condensing it to Fox, occasional fight on CBS and primarily everything on Showtime. So, before I get into the grunt of the video, what adjustments would I make to PBC? That's a good question. The adjustment that I would make is, don't give us that, don't put that boxing Alexander Ortiz and that derail shit on Fox. Put the fights on Fox that's gonna want viewers to come back. As far as put the Danny Garcia and Sean Porter on CBS and Fox. That's an excellent fight for CBS and Fox. That's a record-breaking type of fight. If it's promoted right, put our best fights on network television. Don't put the worst fights on network television. Don't put Avalos and Leo Santa Cruz as the best, as the fight on television. But Premier Boxing Championship had no backlash. It should be it should be the last one that had a backlash, because if you look at ESPN Top Rank, they didn't give you that many good cards. The fights might be okay, but the name recognition, there's no big fights. Gilberto Ramirez, Jesse Hart, that was a good fight, but how many people knew who Jesse Hart was? Smash that like button for your boy. You know what I'm saying? The Pacquiao Horn fight was cool. Then Dongo and Crawford fight was cool. But they not hitting the numbers that they supposed to be hitting either on Top Rank ESPN. They not killing the game. They supposed to be in the 6-7 million type of thing. Because that's what HBO used to hit. And they peak and they prime. With Mayweather and all them other fighters they had on HBO, they regularly hit 5 million was damn near the average viewers. Now 1 million they celebrating. 2 million on Cinco de Mayo they celebrating on regular HBO. But that shouldn't be the case. They definitely dropped their standards. You know what I'm saying? So, that's them, man. And ESPN on basic network, they should be doing about 4 million views. You know what I'm saying? But they're not giving great product. How many people knew who Jorge Linares was? Obviously, how many people knew who Lomachenko is? Now he's building his name up. A lot of the casuals are getting to know who Lomachenko is, but they really ain't had no great fights on Top Rank ESPN. All their fights have been, versus McGraga, Jason Sosa type of guys. It been tight. It hasn't been. They haven't made the big one. They tried with Linares and Lomachenko. That was a good fight with Golden Boy cooperating and doing what they had to do to make it happen for Linares. But Linares is not a star in the sport of boxing. He's not a known commodity amongst casual fans. For the next step for Top Rank is to make that top fight a Pacquiao Lomachenko, a Pacquiao Terrence Crawford. Ramirez. David Benavidez down the line. If David Benavidez gets signed to them. Um, like that. They need to, make big fights and don't put Terrence Crawford on the ESPN app. Honestly, man, they need to make these big fights happen with other promoters and other networks needs to keep it rolling. Alexander Gufik versus Kovalev or Bivol. They need the big fight. They haven't had the home run fight since they first started their first fight on ESPN with Jeff Horn and Pacquiao. And that fight was very, very exciting because Pacquiao had never been seen on basic cable. For real. He was always on HBO or doing stuff of that nature, and that's what really that's what really made people come out and watch. But other than that, Terrence Crawford and Dongo was a mismatch. They haven't had a true classic, a real true classic as far as big names. But you don't get those in boxing. Like, they had a good classic with Frampton and Quigg, or Oscar Valdez and Quigg, even though I didn't support that fight. It was nothing against Valdez. It was more against, I don't fuck with Quigg because he's a bitch. But that's another story. Ramirez and Hart was a good one. Valdez and the guy Genesis, whatever his name, was a good one. They had good fights, but you can get a good fight versus two mid or lower tier fighters. So you get a good fight, but people want to see a big fight be articulate at least into a good fight. You know what I'm saying? And PBC, people still trying to carry that narrative up from when they ran out them Golden Boy contract and started PBC. And you can't hold that against them no more. It's totally different. They give you Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. You eventually get the winner of that versus Earl Spence. You eventually get the winner of that versus Keith Thurman. We talked about Keith Thurman. People don't know what's going on in Keith Thurman's life. And like I told you guys, don't count another man's pockets and don't worry about Keith Thurman. Because he's obviously, have some wife issues getting her citizenship. That's what I think it's about. But, Earl Spence and Mike Peterson was a hell of a fight. Mikey Garcia and Lipinets was a hell of a fight. They give you the goods. You getting the good fights. Broner and Vargas was an excellent fight. I was live for that one. Tank and Claire was a good one. Charlo and Hugo was a good fight, knockout in the fight. So I don't understand what's the issue with Premier Boxing Champions. Is it too black? But you got Abner Mars and Leo Santa Cruz. You got that. You got Gary Russell who just fought, and him and JoJo Diaz put a solid performance on. You got, I think it's jealousy. I think it's something like when Jordan was the best player in the NBA, when LeBron and Kobe and was the best player in the NBA, they was universally hated because it was jealousy, it was hatred. You're not on my team. You don't, stuff of that nature. And I think that's what PBC, is going through. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people mad because Al running the game and they can't fade him. They try to sue him, but they really can't touch him. They can't really fade Al Hammond, and they're gonna continue to try. But it's giving you the best fights without Premier Boxing Champions on right now. It ain't been too many good fights this year without them. Barrera and Bivol was okay, but HBO got the worst fights of the year, bar none. I think Bivol and Barrera is the best fight HBO had on this year. That mattered. And then you can go into, Saluki and Jacobs was a good fight, but on what level do people know Saluki at, man? You got to ask yourself that. Name recognition sells. Yep, you got Leo and Mares too. You don't care. Wilder Ortiz was a good one. Mikey and Easter, Danny and Sean. It's good fights, man. Josh Warrington and Lee Shelby was shown on their YouTube network. So they touching international. What's the old kid? Oh, boy named Donito Donaire. Carl Frampton was another one. They not only are they investing in boxing, they monopolizing boxing without the networks, without the Spike, without the ESPN, without the regular CBS fights. A lot of people, they can't keep up. Top Rank will continue to recycle the same fighters as far as matching their fighters together and getting lower tier fighters that have small promoters and getting options on them. They would do that. And think about June 9th, which I was supposed to talk about in the last live stream. Think about June 9th for a minute. You got Leo Santa Cruz and Mares too. You got Austin Trout, Jamel Charlo, but also you got Maurice Hooker taking on Terry Flanagan, Tyson Fury coming back, and then you got Jeff Horn and Terrence Crawford from Vegas. Obviously that's on the app. How many people? All the Hispanic fans are gonna be watching Mares and Leo Santa Cruz too, and hopefully those times don't intertwine. and it's on Showtime and it's not on the $5 app. I mean, why would they even put Terrence Crawford on that date, man? You know what I'm saying? They really playing with Terrence Crawford, man. They put him on June 9th, okay, with Jeff Horn, which is a very underrated fight in my opinion, okay? He's on the app. Meanwhile, Leo Santa Cruz and Mares and Charlo and Trout, they on Showtime. What's going on, Mr. Finesse? You know, they on Showtime. Fury and them, they gonna be on what they gonna be. They only, I don't know, they probably gonna be on Box Nation, but still, that's a 5 o'clock fight. That's not gonna mess with neither one of those. But they gonna put Crawford up against Leo Santa Cruz and Mares too, who's at the Staples Center in LA. That's disrespectful in my opinion, man. And then you pretend, and look at all the fights you potentially can get with Premier Boxing Champions. Hurd and Charlo pretty soon, okay? You know, you get that fight. You know, the Gale versus Ukazi, you can get that fight. Wilder and Joshua is another potential fight that you can get. I mean, and JoJo Diaz walked over, and Gary Russell and Leo Santa Cruz, and if he beats Mars, another good fight. But and then it's not like they short ball like other promoters that they send their fighters to Premier Boxing Champions. JoJo Diaz made a cool $600K, man. That's good money for his first title. His first title shot, he made $600K. So he didn't get bullied at the bargaining table. He got a good deal. And not only did he get a good deal, you know, he came over and it wasn't no friction. You know, Oscar De La Hoya was able to sit next to Steven Espinoza, and I think he was there. It was all Gucci. You know, it was good. It was no real beef. You know, after what Oscar then did, and obviously Oscar and Steven Espinoza has a relationship because they both, you know, Steven Espinoza, if people don't know, he used to run HBO. Then I think it was Ken Hirschman, and then now you got Peter Nielsen, who's a complete douche and idiot, man. You know, so that's if you're wondering the connection. Ken Hirschman left HBO and Peter Nielsen took over. I think his Hirschman used to be over at Showtime. I'm not sure about that one, but you know, Steven Espinoza has experience. He was running HBO when it was a good fine-tuned running machine. You know, PBC has developed, bring boxing back. No, it's not perfect, but at least we've gotten good fights. 2017 and so far this year, more to come. Yeah. And the thing about it is, DeBella used to run HBO as well. I didn't know that. That makes sense. You know, what the thing about it is, they willing to work with other promoters and other fighters and pay them handsomely as well. So they just not willing to pay their fighters and try to lowball you like Top Rank do. See, they want people to brainwash people and the writers to brainwash people, to brainwash the fans and the hardcores to think like, you know, that it's not, you know, shit not going good, man. You know, like, oh, don't promote Premier Boxing Champions, and you hear Bob Arum say, well, they got to come over here if they want to fight. We not sending our fighters over to Showtime. Already killing the possibility, because you know why Eddie Hearn don't want to send Joshua to America. He talked him out of that. You know why Bob Arum don't want to send Terrence Crawford over to PBC. You know why he didn't want to send Timothy Bradley over there and the rest of that, and why he didn't want to send Pacquiao over there for so long, because the money is better. Period. You know, the money is better. You know, period. I mean, once Terrence Crawford come over here, he making 1.5, okay, and a lot of the boxers are making around that, reportedly hard purses with Al Heyman, and I believe it's some money involved, you know, getting stacked on top of that. You know, I'm not gonna speak on that because it's not my place to, but once they able to get a Terrence Crawford and put a Terrence Crawford in there with Earl Spence, the purses are gonna jump up. No doubt in my mind. Crawford gonna come over here and get money that he never got before. You know, and that's the fear. That the treatment over there is so good that they fighters eventually don't get too close to Al, and Al is the only guy that knows how to unlock the promotional shitty contract that Bob Arum is signing these guys to. So Al can get you out your contract, and you come fuck with Al. And you hearing people like weak ass casual boxing talk saying Adrian Broner owes Al Heyman money. No, he does not. No, he does not owe Al Heyman money. You think Adrian Broner be out here flaunting all this money in his bags and hold money to his head if he owe Al Heyman money? That's an Ohio connection right there. That's real shit. They Cleveland and Cincinnati. You wonder why Al Heyman signed so many Ohio fighters. Sean Porter, Rasheed Warren, Robert Easter Jr., Jamil Herring before he left. Jamil Herring got mad because he thought he got a raw deal versus the Darius Miller, but he legitimately lost. So it's nothing that it's nothing that Bob Arum can do for Jamal Herring, excuse me. You know, he went over to Bob Arum acting like Bob can do something for his career. At the end of the day, you dog shit. You're not a good fighter. So it's nothing possible for him to do for you. You know what I'm saying? But hey, like I said, it's the fierce in your fighter over there. You see how Al Heyman popped up with $50 million for Joshua? And if a nigga could show you $50 million and 50% on the back end, which that could have been 70, 80 million, you know, he can show you that type of money. You think Eddie and Barry Hearn want him to get that close to yeah, what's going on, Gary? Shout out to Gary from the UK. Yeah, he rubbish. But you know what I'm saying? You think you think Eddie Hearn and Barry want everything they put into Anthony Joshua. I don't blame them. They put time, money. I mean, they do everything to make Anthony Joshua happy. You know what I'm saying? So you think they want him to go over there and be quartered by Al Heyman, make all this money? You think you gonna go over there and make $70 million with Al, win, lose versus Deontay Wilder, and go back to Eddie and Barry and making $20 million a fight? No, they know that. They know that it was too good for him. That's why a lot of these promoters don't want to send their fighter over to Premier Boxing Champions. And then again, they want you to send their fighter over there, but they can't. They don't have the money. Premier Boxing Champions to set the bar so high financially and earning potential wise that, I mean, they fighters go over somewhere else. It's going to have to be like, you got to pay them what they worth, and a lot of networks ain't willing to pay two A-sides what they worth. If you think Terrence Crawford is going to take a pay cut, a significant pay cut to compensate Errol Spence to come to ESPN just per se, it's not going to happen. The reason the networks and these other promoters hate Premier Boxing Champions because they know what's going on. They know they can't match them dollar for dollar. So when you can't match somebody financially, you got to send your fighter over there. You scared that he might not come back. You know what I'm saying? That's real shit. What's going on, Max? You scared. It's the hospitality that they treat their fighters with, man. I remember Timothy Bradley brought up a good point. This had nothing to do with Premier Boxing Champions. This had to do with did you get a wrench legendary boxing? You are a weirdo. Oh, leave him alone, man. Good guy, man. But but I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Be More Wood. Shout out to Be More Wood TV. Wood Be More TV, excuse me, brother. It's my man's right there. Took Chavez, Vargas, and Mikey from Bob. It's all in the game. Yeah, he did. Chavez is trying to go with Eddie, But, don't delete his message, legendary boxer, man. He ain't said nothing to offend you, man. Just talking shit. Wood, good people. Let me put the Wood. We can't do that to Wood, bro. It's the homie right there, man. I can't do shit about it, legendary, man. Gotta let Wood back, man. Hold on, man. Oh, no, he good. There you go, buddy. Get you a mic. Get you a wrench yourself. Man, don't put him in timeout, man. He ain't say no bad words. But I don't remember what I was about to say at that point. But yeah, he did take Chavez, and Chavez, he ain't do shit. His lazy ass. But yeah, it's all in the game. It really is all in the game, man. Money. It's who got the most money. And they know they can't keep up financially. And people been saying for 3 years now, Premier Boxing Champion is going to run out of money. I ain't seen it yet. It don't look so over there. So they must be doing something right. And it was all started by Floyd. And if Bob Arum treated Floyd right, Bob Arum wouldn't even have Premier Boxing Champions to even compete with. You know what I'm saying? Because Al Heyman had been in boxing for a minute. Vernon Forrest got him into boxing. He was in the music business doing music tours. He's still doing music tours, okay? He got him in the business, And when he linked up with Floyd, it was over with. What's going on, Escobar Boxing? It was shout out to Shot Time. It was Floyd that kind of elevated Al Heyman to bigger heights. It was like they needed each other. Seriously, Al had the financial plan. Al had the groundwork. Floyd had the skills, and they had a plan. Bob Arum's garbage yesterday's trash was Al Heyman's reward, because without Floyd, say what they want to say about Floyd and say what we say about him. Without Floyd showing these niggas how to play the system and work the system, and whatever they got out of playing Golden Boy and then becoming his own promoter, and he was the inventor of this PBC shit with Al Heyman. They invented it. It wasn't called Premier Boxing Champions at the time, but they invented it because he was the same shit that they do in Premier Boxing Champions is promotional free agent, advised, managed by Al Heyman. They fight on a fight by fight promoter basis. So they don't have a promoter. A promoter promotes a fight, this fight, and then the next fight it might be Lou DiBella. The next fight it might be, Rock Nation. I'm just saying hypothetically. The next fight it might be Mayweather Promotions. So, that's what they created. The same thing just with Golden Boy when they were just playing Golden Boy on a fight by fight basis of flat fee. That's what these fighters are doing with PBC, and I think a lot of them old promoters are jealous because they didn't think about that. That was a great plan, a great plan. And when Floyd did something, he made all that money. People say, "I want to be like that guy." I want to be like that guy. I want to make the money. I want to make the moves. I want to have the promotional free agent. I don't want to be locked in a deal. But it is benefits to being locked in a deal, though. It's benefits. The benefits of being locked in a deal is that at least you guaranteed this many fights a year. Usually it's a guarantee. But the bad thing about it is, from what I'm hearing is, and it's something that I might do some research on tonight because I'm switching to midnights next week, so it'll be afternoon walking the dog fucking streams if it ain't too hot. The thing about that is that you get to you fight on a regular basis, but what I'm learning is when fighters get championship belts and championship shots, that extends their contract longer again. So the ins and outs of boxing contracts is real fishy. You know what I'm saying? So if you get a title shot or you want a belt or something like that, extends your contract 3 more fights. So it's a really dirty game, man. Wilder gonna knock out Anthony Joshua like to knock out HBK, Doughboy. Oh man, that shit old. That little nigga can rap though. I mean, at the end of the day, my man's dad was with him. He got killed like last year. Yeah, he got killed, shot in the kid. So I mean, that was coward shit, man. I'm saying niggas gotta jump niggas, man. That's just what it is. But you have to beat 7-10 top fighters in around your weight class, and the money will follow. But a lot of these guys were in their way, didn't take advantage of the momentum. But yeah, man, it's like the contracts. What I'm learning is very fishy, man. A lot of these guys sign their life away, for some upfront money. But then they get advances in, like Crawford. Crawford was a guy that wasn't known. He was with a smaller promoter. I remember Nestor from the boxing clinic boxing place, excuse me. He used to talk about Terrence Crawford all the time when he had dreads and how good he was. He used to go to some of the shows and catch him on the undercard. He used to catch him on catch him on the undercard. He used to rave about how good this Crawford guy was. Crawford got signed because of Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia said that this guy beat me in the amateurs. He beat me in sparring every round. He told Cameron Duncan is like the top. He's like the Al Heyman of Top Rank. He's the manager for most of their fighters. And he told him that, go sign this guy. He signed him. And, at the time, Crawford wasn't making no real money fighting on undercards. You know what I'm saying? So you come Bob Arum, then he got to come with what he came with David Benavidez or Jose Ramirez or Lomachenko. He ain't got to come with that bag. He showed Crawford whatever, like $30,000, $40,000, and you sign with me, and this is what you make. Crawford is content. He's making $1.5 million. You know what I'm saying? He might not be happy with the notoriety, but once you get the money, it was like Kevin Garnett said. He said, Kevin Garnett said I signed that big ass contract. I think it was the one, he was one of the first guys to get a huge contract. Juwan Howard was the first player to get $100 million contract. Okay, Juwan Howard was, and then the big ticket. That's what they call KG, the big ticket. He got the biggest contract in NBA history, and the team was sorry as fuck not too long ago. He said I cried every day. He said the money wasn't worth it, and you could look at Crawford as being in that way. He getting the money, he out of poverty. But, when it come a time where Earl Spence is being proactive, when there's a time when he whooping on all these contenders, and he will pass up Terrence Crawford if he continue to win, and Crawford continue to be stagnant. Don't let it fool you. He will pass up Terrence Crawford for number one spot. He beat Sean Danny Garcia, a Figueroa, Keith Thurman. He will pass up Terrence Crawford. There's no doubt in my mind. And Crawford going to be looking like, I'm better than this guy. I can whoop this guy. But you're not going to have the opportunity to beat him. He going to have all the belts, potentially him and Keith Thurman and Sean Danny. They going to have all the belts. All the belts. And then he going to be sitting there looking stupid. He going to be falling down that pound for pound list. Especially if Lomachenko get Mikey, or join one of them tournaments. He going to be seeing people shoot up past him. Or knew you why. He going to fuck around and win that tournament and shoot up. He going to start falling down that pound for pound list. Because these guys are not starting to fight. You know what I'm saying? Don't let Gary Russell beat Leo Santa Cruz and go up and beat Miguel Pachette or something. He gonna start these guys. That's guys that ain't even in the pound for pound list in people's opinion right now. That's gonna start to shoot up. Let a Triple G beat Let a Charlo beat a Triple G. Let a Charlo beat a Herb. It's so much shit that's happening now. That Pacquiao Mayweather, it was a clog in boxing, and when it was removed and they both got the fuck out the way, which they are now. A lot of the fighters are starting to fight each other now. So once you see a lot of these young talents starting to fight and these tournaments start to happen, a lot of these fighters, that y'all don't have no idea seeing it coming, it's going to start passing these fighters up. Frampton, Cruz, and Gary Russell started to fight. Then Gary Russell can move up. He can fight a Tank. He can fight a Burchett. He can fight a Billy Dibbs, Tevin Farmer winner. Regis Progress, he win that tournament. He going to be talked about being with 2 belts and being in the top in that stratosphere, coming out that tournament. What's going on, Black British boxing fan? What's going on? See, it's a lot of movement, man. It's a huge amount of movement that can happen in boxing that's about to happen. It's a big movement that's about to. And Crawford, by him only gonna beat Jeff Horn, which a lot of people is not gonna give him credit for beating Jeff Horn. And I'm saying, is the PS4, is the app on ESPN? I can check out real quick. Give me a minute. Just remind me at the end. I'm not sure if the ESPN app is on ESPN. If the ESPN app is on PlayStation 4, I'll fire my PS4 up in a minute. Give me a second. But a lot of fighters. I mean, Josh Taylor's another one. He's the guy that's gonna be shooting up there. And there's guys that we not even accounting for. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and resub to you too. Sub back. It's a lot of movement. Crawford is, if he don't, not be able to fight, like let's say Sean Porter loses Danny Garcia. If he, Sean Porter want to fight Crawford because he's desperate, that's a good fight for Crawford. Crawford was trying to fight Amir Khan as well too. They reached out to Eddie Hearn, about fighting, Amir Khan. So that'd be a good fight for him. But if he ain't getting the fight, if he ain't getting those fights that he deserve and need, he gonna fall down that pound for pound list. He gonna be a forgotten guy, man. It's gonna be so many. Mikey Garcia gonna start shooting up on there if he get the right fights. Regis Progress win the tournament, and Nuyuwa win the tournament, or Tite, Ryan Burnett, all of them that in that tournament when they start to fight, whoever come out on top, they gonna start getting their recognition. Sword, the one that beat Chocolito, he gonna get recognition. Especially Steven Espinoza is forcing Frampton and Gary Russell and all them to fight. Them guys gonna move up and get their recognition. It's so many guys. Lomachenko, if he continue to get opponents, he gonna move up and get recognition. And don't let Robert Easter Jr., y'all gonna lie, beat Mikey Garcia. He gonna move into the pound for pound. It's so much shit that can happen. And Crawford is just gonna be stagnant with the WBO welterweight title. They could have they tried to get him Manny Pacquiao, but it didn't work. I'll get to some of these questions. I got the laptop out if y'all wondering why I'm over here, man. The phone screen is a little different. I can't get to all of them. They was flowing, man. We start off here. Legendary boxing. Heyman used Floyd as leverage to get more fighters. I don't think he used Floyd to get more fighters, in my opinion. I don't think he used Floyd. I think Floyd needed Al Heyman more than Al. I think they need each other, but I don't think he used them. I think it's just I don't think they thought Floyd was gonna blow like that, man. It just happened that way. I don't think he used them though. I think he legitimately helped that man get some money. And people called Floyd an idiot for turning down 12 million in a 7-fight with HBO. Oh yeah, I remember that. Showtime gave Floyd 300 million for 6 fights. Um, you have I read all those already. I'm tripping. No, I fucks with Doughboy Cash Out. Them niggas hard. Yeah, Payroll the best one. He got the best. He got the best. Production and shit. I got all his shit, man. Top rank traps fighters with bonuses. Exactly. Don King was famous for fighters giving fighters a bag of money up. That's what Bob Arum did. Adrian Broner said that. Like I said this story earlier and before. Adrian Broner said he went to Bob Arum, invited him to his house and showed him a whole bunch of money and wanted him to sign a contract. He ain't do it. That was smart. And this is before Al Heyman. You know what I'm saying? This is before he rubbed shoulders with Al Heyman and Golden Boy. He's smart. You know what I'm saying? Say what you want to say about Adrian Broner. This nigga know what a slave deal is. He's a very smart individual. So he knows what a slave deal is. So he not stupid. They showed him a whole bunch of money. And shout out to Nabil Khan for the super chat, my brother. I appreciate it. Appreciate your efforts. Wish real success for your passion. Appreciate it, brother. But yeah, man, they want to. They think these fighters. A lot of these fighters is stupid enough just to take the bag of money up front, not knowing that they probably gonna recoup that money like a music deal and put interest on it. But yeah, they trapping with bonuses as well too. And he taxes them for advances, like 20-30%. That's a lot of money. Why is Eddie going to do for the Charlos? I don't know. Give him money. I mean, his platform is limited. That's the issue, man. His platform is so limited, man. So I wouldn't sign, unless it was an HBO deal on the back of it like Danny Jacobs. Crawford hasn't fought in almost a year. Yeah, he fought in Dongo last August. We looked it up before. Yeah, Crawford is definitely number one, but I see an epic fall coming for Crawford. I see a fall coming for Crawford because, I see a Crawford because he's not gonna fight. Bob Arum already said it. He not sending Crawford over to Showtime. So Showtime fighters got to come to Top Rank and take whatever number they give them. They gonna lowball them. They gonna lowball Earl Spence to come over there. That's why he's talking about pay-per-view with Earl Spence. You know what I'm saying? They gonna lowball him. So, I mean, it's all in the game. Crawford is trapped, but it ain't like he ain't making good money. So, he making a lot of good money. What you think about Spence and Charlo sparring? I mean, they sparred Robert Brandt too. Robert Brandt lost the World Box Super Series to Yerman Berman, who pulled out the World Box Super Series with an illness. So, I mean, everybody in that gym spar each other. You know what I'm saying? So, it's good money. It ain't shit special. Iron sharpen iron, ain't that what they say? Crawford needs to let Bob know I want big names. And he already told Bob Arum he wants the big fights, and Bob Arum assured Crawford that those fights would happen. He gamed them up, but they not gonna happen. They not, because he wants those PBC fighters and Golden Boy fighters to come over to Top Rank, and he can get Linares over there because Linares ain't making no money like some of the Premier Boxing Champion fighters are. You know what I'm saying? They not making that money like that, and they able to court Khan, and Tom LaBeouf is able to call Eddie Hearn about Khan because Khan's stock ain't where it was at. He just came off a knockout and just got a win over Philo Greco. So Khan know he ain't gonna make that $2 to $3 million or whatever, $40 million. So they know they can get Khan over there for a cool meal and get Crawford another 1.5 million. They know that's gonna be a high money fight, and they gonna take theirs off the top. Boxing a dirty game, man. The promoter get the money first. I wish I had the interview. Maybe I'll screenshot it and put it on the Facebook page. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, the Boxing Clinic and more, Twitter, the Boxing Clinic and more, and then Instagram, the Boxing Clinic 313. Anybody that follow those three pages, y'all know what it is, man. It's good stuff. But Dave Chisora had a very good interview about a year or two ago about promoters. And he's a very bright guy, man. He's a very, very bright guy. That's somebody that I probably would want to interview with. And I don't want to interview with nobody. It's probably only 2 interviews in boxing I would want. And that's Al Hammond and probably Derek Chisora after watching that interview. Those are probably the only two ones that I actually will really, really target. You know what I'm saying? You know, Al Heyman interview will be worth millions, dog. That's the only reason I wanted to pick his brain as well, too. I do it off the record. It really pisses Marquise Williams. It really pisses me off when these dumbass boxing fans say stupid shit like, "Who has such fought? Stupid motherfucker. Why does it matter? Charlo's making niggas go night weight." Yeah, that's what they say. Who was their fault? But they turn around and say, you know, Triple G is the best and Triple G is that. But he one of them motherfuckers who ain't fought nobody neither. So, you know, it's tough to say. You know, it's tough to say. I mean, you can't fight nobody unless you get an opportunity. And if they not giving you opportunity, I mean, what can you do? You know, black British boxing fan. Well, a lot of the time, black British boxing fan, a lot of guys don't rank the cruiserweights and the heavyweights in the pound for pound list. I get a lot of backlash for that, man. I had AJ just inside my 10 like a year ago. You know, so a lot of them don't rank them, whatever. I don't know why, but Charlos don't make millions-dollar paydays yet. Probably not. They say they're already touching millions though, so I don't know. I'm not counting on people's pockets. Crawford will make 2 or 3 million for Horn. I don't know if it's gonna be 3 million. You know, I had to look that up. I know Jeff Horn got extra, so Jeff Horn is probably making 2 million. So he might make 2 million, but Jeff Horn is getting 1 million, and he's getting 1 million from Australia as well, because his fight turned back into a pay per view in Australia. So he getting 1 million, estimated 1 million on pay per view. So let me see, say right now, but yeah, Premier Boxing Champions, man. It really ain't nothing wrong with it, man. It was flawed in the beginning, but anything that you first start off with is not gonna be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? And I remember Timothy Bradley talking about when he left Gary Shaw. I don't know if y'all remember Gary Shaw. He used to be his promoter, and he said this was I'm gonna get too early. I forgot. He said that when him and Devin Alexander fought up here. In the Silver Down, it was the last big money fight that HBO actually poured into into American fighters. You know what I'm saying? This was the last fight. They a lot of promotion for this fight, and it failed. It flopped because Bradley headbutting style, it didn't mesh well with Devin Alexander's southpaw style. But he said he remembers seeing Devin Alexander, who was signed with Don King at the time, hopping out of limos and shit, and they was driving a work van at every event. You know, he said it made him think, and he signed with Bob Arum because he promised him a Pacquiao fight. But he said he didn't know anybody over there that was working with Al Heyman at the time. He said that's why he went over to Bob Arum. But I don't think it was that. I mean, because, if he fought Vanes Monterosian, which he wasn't at top, he was with Top Rank as well at the time. Maybe he didn't know nobody over there because I'm not sure. I know he lost to Charles. I know he was with Charles Halley and all them at that 150-something pound weight. But he said he didn't know nobody, so he signed with Bob Arum. So I really don't know the persons. I know he got an article where it say, Horn wants $5 million purse. I remember that seeing that shit. I see an article about Corey Lee Boxing. What up to Corey Lee Boxing? A little YouTube video about him, but yeah, man, Crawford probably make, I don't know. I think Jeff Horn might be making 1.5, and Crawford might be making 1.5, because I don't see that fight being a $2 million fight apiece. And I would really, really be interested to see how Premier Boxing, how ESPN Plus app, how it pays out and how they cover the fight. But it must be a way. But I wonder why June 9th is an important day. Because the NBA Finals not on ESPN, even though it's on the parent company ABC. Why they couldn't get Crawford a date on June 9th? That's a very, very interesting question, man. That's an interesting question. Yeah, Gary Shaw gave his promotional company, Rock Nation, absorbed Gary Shaw. So all the fighters that Gary Shaw had, Rock Nation bought them out. So so he just gave up. They must have paid him enough money to give up. He was an old man. He's probably ready to retire anyway. He had Darrell too. He had Anthony Darrell. Yep. He had Andre Darrell, I mean. Then Andre and Anthony end up signing with Al, and then Andre ended up going with 50 Cent. They supposed to make the money team and got away from Al Heyman and fucked his career up even worse. It was already messed up. So, but they don't like Al Heyman, man, because he innovative. He not like minded. He not doing the same uniform shit that all boxing promoters did for all time. He doing something different. He invented something that they wish they invented, and it's a lot of hatred there, man. It's a lot of hatred. Bob Arum is just jealous. But when Bob Arum get out the way, and I hate to say that about anybody, but once he gone, scoot out the way, I really would wonder what Top Rank would look like without him at the helm. Because obviously he got a good bill of health to be 80-some years old and still having the mind to do these interviews and talk clearly and still finesse these interviewers and still run his business. He still runs that shit at 80-some years old. He runs Top Rank. I wonder when they get him out the way, what is going to look like over there? That's a very good question. When they get him out the way, how is Top Rank going to be shaped different? Will Tom LaBeouf take over? Will they be working with other networks? Will they be able to do stuff that they can't do under Bob Arum? That's an excellent question. Because at the end of the day, he's sharp, he old, he's still cognitive of what's going on. But you got to be able to change with the time. Times he's flexible. Al, he's flexible, you know what I'm saying? They doing new shit, man. It's like when Metro came out. You just pay as you go. That's basically what they doing. You get a promoter as you go. He hashing out all the financial deals. He got a rapport with all the arenas and the Barclays Center. They made the Barclays Center hot. Al Heyman and Premier Boxing Champions made that bitch the hub. And now they got a regular audience that comes out and watch these fighters fight. And meanwhile, you got, HBO fighters, barely selling out the theater room at the Madison Square Garden. You don't see, too many fighters, black fighters going to Madison Square Garden facing off with each other. If it's a Charlo versus Danny Jacobs, that bitch going to the Barclays Center. It's going to the N train, Atlantic City, get off at Atlantic City, you walk right there, it's the Barclay. They know how to identify what they want to do with the Barclays Center. Manhattan is different. You see Kovalev not fighting at MSG next time. He's taking it to the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. So, it's different. Different crowd, different folks, different strokes. The Barclays Arena is beautiful, man. Yeah, New Year's, he about 7, 8 for me. This before today. I updated like every 6 months. Are you taking questions from chat? Yeah, go ahead. Go with a question. Y'all can go with questions. I'll answer any question I can see them on. Do you think Bud will be able to get out of his Top Rank deal ever? No. Donaire got out his deal because he was old as hell. He was washed up. Not if he don't call Al Heyman. That'd be the guy that only get guys out of the Top Rank deal, man. Is Al Heyman. He got Floyd out of his deal. He got Mikey out of the situation with Top Rank. Mikey had one fight left on his deal. And they was trying to get him to fight Gamboa. He didn't want to fight Gamboa. Same thing with Gamboa. Gamboa had one fight left on his Top Rank deal. They was trying to force him to fight Brandon Rios. See, when you got on your last fight with Top Rank, they try to, if you don't, they'll offer you a fight. They'll be like, all right, Mikey Garcia, we'll offer you, at the time, we'll offer you a Brandon Rios fight. I'm just saying hypothetically. We know they cool. And then he'll be like, all right, I want the Brandon Rios fight. Oh, we're going to make $1 million fight, and I want that fight. They were like, oh, before you sign a fight, you got to sign a contract extension. No fight, no extension, no fight. So if you don't want to sign an extension, they'll shelf you. When they shelf you, that means they ain't going to offer you no fights. Them Top Rank contracts is different. And all boxing contracts is different like that. They got certain little niches and nuances in the contract. If you do this, we extend you this long. If you do that, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And a lot of fighters, man, get in here. They see the upfront money they going to get and they can change their life. Not reading the contract, not going to get a lawyer to read the contract and sign the contract and sign their life away. Sign their life away. I'm not signing shit without a lawyer. And a lot of people say, well, boxers don't have the means to do it. At the end of the day, bro, even if I had to get a job at Foot Locker and McDonald's to pay the lawyer off, dog, to read the contract, that's what I would do. But if you know what you're doing, you telling this lawyer that, look here, man, I'm gonna be that nigga in boxing, dog. I'm looking to sign a contract with boxing. I just need you to read over it. When I get my signing bonus money, or every fighter contract I get, I throw you 5% just for checking over the contract, or just for being on my team. And then when I get my signing bonus, I give you a little bit of that, and then I just keep you on the payroll for 3 or 5% to read over my fight contracts. And if I get into any legal or legal trouble outside of boxing, you just be the personal lawyer, and I run my boxing friends to you as well, and you can monopolize like that. But people don't think. They see a whole bunch of money on the table, or they see a check on the table, and they just sign their life away. And that shit is done with, because we done seen too many times, too many boxers get finessed out of so much. A lot of boxers get finessed. Mike Tyson was getting charged like a bunch of money just for using towels at the hotel by Don King. He was getting raped. And even the guys that Custom Auto set him up with was stealing money from him. It was just like, it was a lot going on for that man at the time. And that's how, and you see these stories and you read these stories and you don't want to be a statistic. If your family love you, you know what I'm saying? If your family love you, they be like, okay, we love you. But as soon as you get that money, they're going to be riding with you. So can everybody ante up so I can get the lawyer to read this contract? Like the NWA story with Ice Cube. That's real shit. That's not just in the music business. That's out there. As far as the boxing business too. Jerry Heller gave him the check, like, here go your check. It was $100,000 check, whatever it was. He was like, thanks, Jerry. He was like, nope, but you got to sign this contract first. He was like, I'm going to have my lawyers look up. He said, no, they just going to get in the way. Just sign a contract and take the check. And Ice Cube said, no, not without my lawyers reading over. He was smart. So knowing all this shit that's going down, why won't these boxers look at these contracts before they sign them? And then they want to be sitting there looking all pathetic and want people to have sympathy on them. I'm not having sympathy on you. If you stuck in a contract you don't like, you should have read it. Everybody want to jump on the money so fast. The money gonna come. Make sure you got a good contract. And if they gave me a bold contract to start off with, 9 times out of 10, I'm not doing business with them. I'm moving on to the next promoter. Because why would you try to shice me like that on the contract? All these little different shits in the contract saying this and that. Why would you do that, man? Why would you do that to a fighter, man? They taking advantage of these guys, but they got to be like the music business now. A lot of these fighters are aware of, boxers, musicians are aware of 360 deals like right now. So what happened when they started doing 360 deals in the music industry? A lot of these rappers became independent. When you come independent, you don't get no album money, but you don't get album money in a minute. A lot of these artists, you can go outside and find a producer that can produce a hot track, like the Panda nigga, Designer. He bought that beat for like $200 and it blew up. If you can just upload your music to that Piff and just get show money, that's exactly what you're getting with a label. You build your money up till you can get, Timberland grade production or Puffy production or Dre production. Eventually you're going to be so hot that producers, if you really that good in music, they going to flock towards you. Same thing in boxing. Same thing in boxing. You got to be with Al Heyman. If they're not giving you a good promotional contract, why would you sign a promotional contract? That's like signing your life away. It's some benefits to signing to a promoter. It is. It's some great benefits. I scored Jack Stevenson 7-5 Jack, but it could have been a draw. Could have been a draw. But yeah, that's basically the independent route of music is the same thing as what Al Heyman is doing with these fighters. It's the same exact thing. They're not getting locked into a promotional deal. They on a fight by fight basis with whoever promote them. It's a fight as you go type of thing with the promoter. But the thing about a promoter is, they offer you, guaranteed fights. They offer you the ability to build you up an opponent. Even if this opponent ain't shit, what this promoter is doing is building this dude up to have the public thinking this dude is a monster. He putting guys in front of him that he know he gonna knock out. And he gonna build his knockout streak up to 20 and over 20 knockouts, knowing that eventually he gonna feed him to his top star when the time is right. It's his ability to build you up an opponent. there's really no pay-per-view fights anymore. Exactly, and that's a positive thing. That's the thing I liked about Keith Thurman, man, Tuka Pack. You know, that Keith Thurman didn't want to fight on pay-per-view. He wanted all his fights on Showtime to get the notoriety. You know, Floyd Mayweather should have fought Berto on regular at CBS. That would have been great, but he wasn't gonna play with the church's money like that. Yep, he wasn't gonna play with the church's money, but yeah, like you said, man, it's no pay-per-view fights no more, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But remember, this is a transition era from Pacquiao Mayweather. So now that these guys starting to fight, it will be some coveted fights coming up. Trust me. I don't think it's because nobody wants to buy them no more. I just don't think the fighters are that popular right now. It didn't, you know, Pacquiao and Mayweather and Cotto and Marquez and guys like that, they just didn't become popular overnight. Trinidad, it took time. You know, it takes time to cross over to the American audience. You know, it just takes time. You know, these guys got to fight each other. They gotta make their classic fights. Pacquiao Barrera, Pacquiao Morales, Floyd Corrales, you know, Floyd Castillo, you know. Not Floyd and Pacquiao Corrales, but Pacquiao Morales. Hopefully that's what I said. You know, you gotta fight those ground building fights. You know, that cross you over to the public, man. That's the difference. A lot of these fighters wanna cherry pick these bums and think the public is stupid. You know, cherry pick them bums, and you gotta fight good fights. The casual public know a good fight is from a bad fight. They know a cherry pick from a solid foe. So all this cherry picking, that's what's killing them their chances on being pay-per-view and fighting once and twice a year. You got to get out there and fight 3 times a year, man. Really 4. You want to fight in each quarter. You want the public to remember your face, remember you whooping this motherfucker ass, remember you knocking him out. You want them to see the growth and the progression from you fighting mid-grade to contenders to being a world champion and beating other champions. You got to see that progression. You got to see that big progression. A lot of fans don't. A lot of fighters don't understand that. You can't build a brand by fighting once a year. And then fighting a bullshit ass fight once a year, man. It ain't gonna happen, man. So you keep your own pound for pound list. Which of the following makes you top 10? Which of the following makes your top 10? I took him out, Alvarez, obviously because of the drugs. Usyk is number 10 with Gatsby. They both number 10, even though I got flack for ranking heavyweights. I don't rank heavyweights. Saunders not on there, you know. So I got Usyk on there. Alvarez was like number 2, but before the Triple G fight, we know what happened with the computer roll. He had to get off my list. So my list probably goes something like, this is the last list I dropped. I'm just thinking. I haven't updated. It go Crawford, Spence 2. I don't care what people say. 3 is Lomachenko. 4 was Regis Forrestein that beat Chocolito. 5 was probably like Triple G and then Mikey Triple G, 5 and 6. 7, I'm drawing a blank. 7 might have been a Nuyuwa or some shit like that. I know 10 was Gas for Usyk. 8, 9, I can't remember who it was. I really can't. 8, 9. I can't remember who it was. 8, 9. Drawing a blank. You know, I think I said Triple G. Jer Hurd made it. He was like 8. And 9, I can't remember who was 9. I don't know who was 9, but yeah, man. I took Kovalev out because he ain't been doing shit, man. He ain't been fighting nobody. I did Alvarez. I gotta watch him and see, you know, how good he actually is, man. Yeah, Javante got some time to go, man. Thurman, yeah, I had Thurman in there. I think I kept Thurman in there. No, Charlo's they gotta have a crossover fight. Main thing on my pound for pound list is who you beat. You gotta beat somebody to get on there, man. That's the main thing. You gotta beat somebody. You know, to be your crossover win. You know, I know Triple G ain't got the greatest crossover win, but he slide up in there. I know Mikey, you know, he ain't got the greatest, you know, wins or whatever, but he got consistency and longevity on the elite level, you know. You know, Crawford, he ain't got the most. A lot of these guys ain't got the resume. I mean, I feel Danny Garcia, Canelo Alvarez had the 2 best resumes in boxing right now. Bar none. I don't think it's close as far as the major weight classes. They had the 2 best resumes. You know, if Danny was to beat Sean Porter, he'd get in my top 10 too. He'd slide in there. I was going to put Badou Jack in there if he beat Stevenson. He would. There's going to be a lot of movement. I'm telling you guys, Crawford is going to be a guy that Crawford's gonna be a guy that slide down that list. Cause then you got the Charlos who they get the Hurt and the Jacobs or the Triple G fight. They gonna be moving up to the list. You got a lot of fluctuation, a lot of change outs gonna be on that list. You know, the middleweight, super middleweights. I mean, Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis. It's gonna be a lot of changes coming to these lists, man. Crawford is not gonna. If Crawford is allowed to fight Errol Spence and guys like that, he'll be good, but he not. Crawford is just due for an epic downfall. I'm not sleeping on Crawford. He just don't have. He not gonna have the means. He's not gonna be let off that leash. If he was let off that leash, he can maintain it. But watch, he gonna slide down a lot of people pound for pound list, man. You know, because a lot of people don't respect that Jeff Horn fight, man. They don't respect that fight. I respect that fight because it's something foreign to Terrence Crawford. It's a physically big opinion. It's a physically big opponent. It's an opponent that's awkward, who got some awkward head movement, who's dirty, who got a good chin, who can punch a little bit, and he tough. Crawford ain't fought nobody with 8-ounce gloves the size and the strength of Jeff Horn. So we'll see. Here's my list. Lomachenko, Crawford, Golovkin, Spence, Garcia Mikey, of course, Joshua, Regis Sorenstein, Sorg, Inouye, Usyk, Saunders. I mean, like I said, I don't rank the heavyweight, so Lomachenko, Lomachenko not number one. He ain't did enough. He beat Mikey Garcia. You can say he could be number one. I mean, that's the only case around this weight class that you can make that guy number one. Right now, he ain't got enough volume. He number 3 on mine. That just show you how sorry everybody else is up there. But Saunders, he a good fighter, but he had to get that Canelo fight or Triple G fight to get up that high. Like I said, them middleweights, they all got terrible resumes, man. To be honest, it's time for them to start fighting each other. Inouye is the truth. I personally think Inouye is a better fighter than Lomachenko. I took some flack on that, but I don't. Pound for pound list is a little bit different. I just think from the eye test, I think Inouye is a better fighter than a lot of these fighters on this list. Period. I think that he's legitimately the goods. I think he's on the same level as that little cluster of Crawford, Spence, Lomachenko. I think he Golovkin. I think he like right there with them as far as the talent. Right there. I think Inouye is with that talent trio right there. He gonna be part of the takeover in boxing. If he win that tournament, it's over with. It's a good chance that if he was at a higher weight class, that he'd be dominant. You still look like Canelo Triple G might be dead. But when Canelo find out he got to fight the mandatory, he might get his mind right and go back to Canelo to Canelo for that fight. So I wasn't really all the way dead. Loma got the drawing power in the U.S. Nah, he ain't got no drawing power. No, he do not. He don't draw shit, bro. Trust me, man. Those tickets you seen at Madison Square Garden, them bitches were dirt cheap, bro. He not a big draw. You walk down the street and ask your average person who Vasily Lomachenko is, a lot of them won't know who he is. Well, there's ain't really no big draws in boxing like that, though. You know what I'm saying? Bob Arum is pushing him like that, but he not no big draw. If he a big draw, he can go to Vegas and do hella numbers. He can't. He can go out to Cali and do hella numbers. He can't. He not no ticket puller, man. He can't even do what Crawford did in Omaha. And that's sell out. His countrymen really don't travel in grows like the UK. You know what I'm saying? So he'll never be the draw that they push him to be. I'm just sorry. He won't be that draw. That Madison Square Garden wasn't filled out, bro. Trust me. It wasn't filled out. When he fought Rigondeaux, it was nice pack, but we know that's 4 gold medals in the ring. Those tickets dropped from $86 down to $50 2 days before the fight. I'm going to give you an idea about what that means. When I went to see Danny Jacobs in Triple G, it was no ticket less than $130. It was no ticket less than $130 to get into the building. You know what I'm saying? So they started, and sometimes with those top rank cars, man, I wish the dude, my boy Anthony was on, man. He from Brooklyn. He go to the fight. He say Sometimes them cars, those tickets get down to $18 $18 like up close. He said Jose Ramirez and Amir Amon tickets was $8. And you can feel the sweat hitting your face. So don't let them feel you. They put all them tarps up and they keep it dark for a reason. So he not selling out like that. Trust me. He's not a ticket putter like that. He won't be. I mean, they go fighting Ukrainian wherever you from. Usyk or I don't know where they from. He can do good there. I don't know why they don't try to open up and use that market a little bit more. But I understand the U.S. market is the A side. But you know, Tyson was a pay per view. Yeah, Tyson was he was an anomaly, man. You know, Floyd was like a blip too. You know, he was a big blip, Floyd Mayweather. You know, nobody expected Floyd Mayweather to do what he did on pay per view. That's why they always pushing the Hispanic fighters and the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans and guys like that. You know, that's why they pushing them. Yeah, Lomachenko never cleaned out a division. He never unified neither. People forget that. You know, I mean, people say, oh, they were scared. Oh, they said the same shit about Golovkin. He was scared. They were scared. Bob Arum not trying to put that motherfucker in there with nobody. You know, in the WBO, that's the worst belt of all. That's the belt that shouldn't even count. You know, but he can clean. He could have cleaned out 130 though. You know? We all know that. I mean, people they just count on people saying that he was the best guy there. He would have cleaned it out. So, I mean, he could have cleaned out 130, man. Especially with Tank losing the belt. Yeah, Wilder good. I just don't rank heavyweights. That's just my thing. I mean, heavyweights their own entity. If you were heavyweight, you already the king of the jungle. You top dog. You know, there's no need to rank you over the midgets. You know what I'm saying? You top dog already. You know, but y'all go with the questions. I'm still here. More questions, but pretty much that's what it is, man. I didn't even see Steve say some shit. What up, Steven Styles, bro? Other than known top five welterweights, who are the next rising five after Danny Garcia, after Thurman, Garcia, Porter, Spence, Crawford? I mean, eventually Josh Allen reaches progress, gonna move up. I mean, I got the rankings right here. Mikey Garcia, he's planning on moving up. You got Marcos Madonna brother. I didn't get to see him fight. You know, he fought at the Brooklyn Barclays Center. I didn't get to see him. I got there later. Cause I was watching the Philly game in Miami. Jamal James, he a tall guy. Ugis, he an older guy, but he's starting to make some noise. This Ingus Cleveland Cost guy that's with Top Rank who fought on the Ray Bell trying to polish my noses undercard. He a solid guy. The Adamas kid, you know, if he comes around the welterweight all the way. Other than that, Rashidi Ellis is a name to definitely watch. Rashidi Speedy Ellis is probably the best of the rest, you know. Talented kid, man. Speed, power. If I had to really say, I would say after those five, he is probably the next best welterweight with the potential. I think he could beat Amir Khan. And I think you might have sparked a video coming for him. You know, I'm gonna do a video for him tonight, or this morning. You know, to raise some awareness for that kid, because that kid can really fight. He's from like Boston or something like that. No, we talking about like rising stars. You know, like young guys. Oh yeah, Vamp String. Yeah, what's going on, Gary? We talking about young guys, man. We're not talking about them old motherfuckers, man. Just young guys. You know, so. Yeah, Frederick Lawson. I don't even know the fuck. There's so many guys that ranked in the top 15. I don't know who the hell it is. Yeah, he did get some support from UK fans, man. You know, he did. Bradley Skeet got knocked the fuck out by some guy. Who the guy that knocked out Bradley Skeet? He knocked Bradley Skeet out like in a round or two. So that guy too. The guy that just beat Bradley Skeet. I forgot to talk about that shit a couple weeks ago. Beat the hell out of him. Some guy beat Bradley Skeet, dog. He beat Bradley Skeet really, really bad. I don't know who this guy was, man, but he beat the hell out of him. He deserved to be up there, too. Jose Benavidez in there, too, but I don't take him as no threat, man. He going to be fighting Crawford next, probably. but he ain't ranked in the WBO though. But they get him ranked. He number 6 in the WBA. You know, so it's something to look at though. What it is, TBC and more. We gone.